The rain is coming down in sheets, turning the asphalt into black glass. A grown man, once untouchable, once feared, is on his knees in that water, tie plastered to his throat, $2,000 Italian shoes ruined forever. He's clawing at the locked glass door of a warehouse in East Oakland, screaming a name like it's the last prayer he'll ever say. Jalen. Please. God, please. I'm sorry. I'll do anything. Open the door, I'm begging you. Inside, a single silhouette watches through the tinted glass. Arms crossed. No expression. No mercy. The man outside sobs so hard he retches into the puddle at his knees. 6 months ago he laughed in that same man's face until tears rolled down his own cheeks. Tonight the tears are his, and they taste like blood, gasoline, and 400 years of unpaid debt. How does the hunter become the hunted in half a year? How does a Silicon Valley king end up crawling through a ghetto parking lot, trading every dime, every ounce of pride, for a minimum wage badge and a mop bucket? And why is the man behind the glass smiling like the devil just cashed a winning lottery ticket on America's soul? If that image just punched you in the chest, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the bell. Because what you're about to hear isn't just revenge. It's the sound of a country finally being forced to look in the mirror. And the reflection is ugly. May 17, 2025. Sequoia Capital's flagship conference room on Sand Hill Road. The air smells like eucalyptus, new money, and quiet racism nobody ever admits out loud. Jalen Carter, 29, walks in wearing the only blazer he owns. Charcoal gray, Mace's clearance rack, sleeves half an inch too short. He's the only black face in a sea of Patagonia vests and Stanford class rings. He doesn't belong here. He knows it. They make sure he feels it. Elevate. That's the name of his baby. An app that finds paid STEM internships for kids from neighborhoods the tech world pretends don't exist. Kids who grew up hearing gunshots instead of lullabies. Kids who were told college wasn't for them, that the police already had their future mugshot on file. Jalen clicks to the traction slide. Voice steady. Heart hammering. 22,000 placements. 91% retention. Average starting salary for our graduates, $127,000. These aren't charity cases. These are your next senior engineers you keep saying you can't find. Silence. Then the laugh. Marcus Reed, 42, managing partner, net worth floating somewhere north of $250 million, leans back and lets it rip. A full, rich, belly-deep laugh that echoes off the glass walls like a slap. The room follows. Nervous giggles at first, then louder, because when the king laughs, the court laughs harder. Marcus wipes an imaginary tear. Jalen, let me explain something to you, son. He stands, circles the table slow, predator smile sharp as a blade. You're not selling software. You're selling trauma porn with better branding. Nobody on this road is writing 7-figure checks because some kid in East Oakland might code his way out of the hood. That's not a business model. That's a GoFundMe with a pitch deck. The room roars again. One female partner tries to look sympathetic, but her eyes are already on her phone. Marcus leans in so close Jalen can smell the Macallan 18 on his breath. Go home, brother. Mentor a kid. Leave the big boy table to people who actually belong here. He turns to leave, then spins back with the knockout punch. Oh, and love the hustle. Maybe one day you'll build something that isn't just affirmative action with an app store page. The door shuts. The laughter lingers like smoke. Jalen gathers his slides with hands that won't stop shaking. He doesn't cry on the Caltrain ride back to Oakland. He stares out the window at the perfect lawns of Palo Alto sliding past and makes a promise to the reflection in the glass. They laughed at the wrong one. Marcus Reed went straight back to his kingdom. Atherton Palace with heated marble floors. Wife Vanessa, Pilates body, wine fridge the size of most Section 8 apartments. 2 little blonde daughters in $50,000 a year private schools. Memorial Day ink starred. A new 22-year-old executive assistant who called him daddy in the texts he thought were encrypted. Life was perfect. Until June 9th. Vanessa Reed woke up at 3:17 a.m. to an email. Subject line, "Your husband's real legacy." Attached, photos. Marcus in a Miami club, hand up a teenager's skirt. Marcus in Vegas, 3 girls, cocaine rails on a hotel mirror. Marcus in Aspen, laughing while a crying 19-year-old counted $1,000 bills on silk sheets. Vanessa didn't scream. She forwarded everything to the most expensive divorce attorney in Northern California, packed Louis Vuitton suitcases for herself and the girls, and left a single post-it on the Sub-Zero fridge. "We're done." Marcus laughed it off at first. Some jealous founder, he told his crisis PR team. Paid them $40,000 a day to make it disappear. But then the partners got packages. Printed screenshots from a private Slack called the Wolf Pack. Marcus, another diversity hire begging for crumbs today, faced with tears of joy. Marcus, but that Carter Kids app is just a front for gang recruitment. LMAO. Marcus, black founders always cry racism when the numbers don't lie. The emergency board vote was unanimous. Marcus was escorted out of the building like a criminal, forced to hand over his MacBook in the lobby while security watched. He still thought he'd bounce back. He always did. But the leaks never stopped. Old college emails surfaced. Affirmative action is reverse racism for the untalented. A 2019 recording leaked of him telling a black female founder, "Maybe stick to beauty apps, sweetheart." His country club asked him to take a sabbatical. Even his barber started double booking his slot. By August, Marcus Reed was radioactive. No board seats. No podcast invites. His Amex Black Card got declined at a gas station in Redwood City. The FBI froze every account, anonymous tips claiming human trafficking and money laundering. Hotel receipts. Wire transfers to Moldova. All pointing to him. He sat in his dark mansion, lights off to save on the electric bill, drinking straight from a $400 bottle of tequila while repo men circled outside like vultures. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. "You laughed when I had nothing. Now you have nothing. How does it feel, King?" He threw the phone. It shattered against Italian marble. That night he drove the last car they hadn't taken, a 2018 BMW with 87,000 hard miles, straight into East Oakland. Rain hammered the windshield. He parked outside a warehouse at 67th and International. The flickering neon sign read, "Elevate Truth." Marcus pounded on the glass until his knuckles split. The door finally opened. Jalen Carter stood there in a black hoodie, eyes ancient for 29. Rain dripped off both of them. Marcus dropped to his knees in the puddle. "I'm sorry," he sobbed. "I was cruel. I was wrong. My daughters, they have nothing now. I have nothing. Please." Jalen stared down for a long, long time. "You remember what you said?" Jalen asked, voice quiet as a graveyard. "That I didn't belong at the big boy table?" Marcus nodded, choking. Jalen stepped aside. Inside, the warehouse was alive. Rows of monitors glowing electric blue. Hundreds of black and brown kids, some still in high school hoodies, some with fresh Stanford degrees, working in silence. Headphones on. Eyes hard. They were scraping data, verifying documents, tracing shell companies in the Caimans. An army of the very kids Marcus had mocked. A giant screen on the far wall showed live submissions, 612,847 and climbing. Marcus's mouth fell open. What is this place?" Jalen walked him past the workstations. A 17-year-old girl in a Stanford hoodie looked up. Her stare could cut steel. Marcus realized she was probably one of the interns he'd once sworn would never make it in this valley. Jalen stopped at a small office in the back. Inside, a metal desk, a mop bucket, a gray janitor jumpsuit with Marcus stitched in red over the chest pocket. "You start tomorrow," Jalen said. $5.75 an hour. California minimum wage. You clean the bathrooms after the night shift. You eat in the cafeteria with everyone else. And every single day you look these kids in the eye and remember what your laughter cost them. Marcus clutched the jumpsuit like a drowning man. I'll do it. Just, please don't release the rest. Jalen crouched so they were eye to eye. The videos? The dark web ones? The ones with the girls who look like your daughters will in 5 years. He let the silence hang. I'm not you, Marcus. I don't trade in children. That filth was all yours. And it's already in the hands of people who matter. Federal people. Marcus's face crumpled. Then why? Why do this to me? Jalen stood. Because some debts can't be paid with money. Some apologies don't get accepted. And some men need to live long enough to watch the world they broke rebuild itself without them. You're going to mop these floors until your hands bleed. You're going to hear these kids' stories every single day. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll understand why your laughter was the most expensive sound you ever made. He turned to leave. One last thing at the door. You told me nobody pays for feelings. You were wrong. This country's been paying for yours since 1619. Now the invoice came due. And the interest is brutal. The door closed. Marcus stayed on his knees in the dark, clutching the janitor jumpsuit like a death sentence. Outside, the rain kept falling. Inside, a generation worked through the night. They weren't building another food delivery app. They were building accountability. One predator, one lie, one empire of cruelty at a time. And somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled like the slow, deliberate laughter of ancestors who waited 4 centuries for this moment. The table has turned. The king is on his knees. And for the first time in American history, the people he laughed at are the ones holding the keys. If this story shook you, if it made you angry, if it made you cheer, if it made you question everything you thought you knew about power in this country, do 3 things right now. Hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you never miss an episode. And drop a comment. Was this justice, or did Jalen Carter just become the monster he hunted? Because the revolution isn't coming. It's already here. And it's wearing a janitor's jumpsuit with a billionaire's name stitched on the chest. See you in the next one. Stay awake, America. The reckoning is just getting started.